Dear grade 12 students in Qatar Technical School, hello and welcome to a new English lesson. Our lesson for today is from Unit 8, Projects, and this is Lesson 2, Part 2, Platform. Please go to your course books, page 61, and let's get started. Our learning objectives for today: students will be able to identify new expressions to express method and purpose. They also will be able to create sentences by changing the words given into the passive voice in the past simple. Now, how to express method? We have different ways. The first one, by using the following way: by plus gerund, which is the ing form. Number two, by means of plus a noun. And number three, the gerund using ing form directly. Now let's have a look at some examples of how to express method. Let's have a look at the following example. The spar was secured by fastening it to the seabed. Here we use by plus the ing form, the gerund. Another example. The spar was secured by means of 9 cables. So here we use by means of followed by a noun. And the last example, the spar was secured using 9 cables. Here we use the gerund directly. More examples. The workers fixed the car. How? By changing the engine. Another example. The door was opened by means of a spare key. By means of is followed by a noun. And the last example here. They started the match using their best players. Now let's move to the second part in our lesson for today, which is how to express purpose. We have two ways. The first one, we use in order to plus infinitive form of the verb. The other way is by using to plus the infinitive form of the verb. Let's move now to the second part in our lesson and how to express purpose. We have two ways. The first one, like in the example, the spar was secured. Why? In order to avoid it from moving around. Another example, the spar was secured to avoid it from moving around. Let's have other examples. Number one, they filled the car tank in order to complete their trip. Another example, they wear their safety shoes to protect their feet. Dear students, I want you now please to move to your course books, page 61, and have a look at exercise number 5. The exercise says match these phrases from the text in number 2 with their language function. Write M for method or P for purpose next to each phrase. Now please, dear students, you can pause the video, read the sentences, and decide whether they express method, you write M, or they express purpose, so you write P. Thank you so much, my dear students. Now let's check your answers. Sentence number 1, to produce natural gas from the enormous Troll oil field. Here the sentence starts with to plus a verb. And this is one way to express purpose. The second, in order to provide sufficient stability. Also, this sentence starts with in order to, then the verb. So this is also expresses purpose. Now let's move to number 3. By pouring concrete continuously. So how? By pouring. So this sentence expresses method. Number 4, by means of a process called slip forming. The sentence starts with by means of, so it expresses method too. Number 5, in order to give them maximum strength, because the sentence starts with in order to, so it expresses purpose. And number 6, by means of a subsea electrical cable. So here the sentence starts with by means of, so it expresses method. Well done, my students. Dear students, before we move to the next exercise, we have to talk about the past simple passive. So let's just remember together the rule. Now let's have a look at the following sentence. In the active voice, the sentence is workers as a subject, broke as a verb in the past, a pipe as an object. Now to change it into the passive, we start with the object, a pipe, and because it is singular, we use was as form of be. Then we change the verb broke into the past participle form, broken. So the rule is, in the active, we start with subject, then verb to or past simple verb, then object. Now when we change it into the passive, we start with the object, and if it is singular, we use was. If it is plural, we use were. Then we change verb to into the past participle or verb 3. Now, dear students, please move to exercise number 6 in the same page. What you have to do is to write single sentences in the past to express the same meanings as the notes below. Use language from the above or the table above. Now, example number 1, the sentence given is highest structure in word, built, the method, used 330,000 meters of concrete. Now, how to change it? As you have, or as you can see in the example, the highest structure in the world was built using 330,000 meters of concrete. Now, please, dear students, pause the video, think of the other sentences, and come back to check your answers. Number 2, concrete made in a single pour. Purpose, prevent cracks from forming. So the sentence becomes, concrete was made in a single pour to prevent cracks from forming. Number 3, topside, fitted to top of perdido spar. Method, deploy hydraulic winches. How to change it? Topside was fitted to top of perdido spar by deploying hydraulic winches. Number 4, pumping station installed below spar. Purpose, separate the oil from the gas. The sentence, pumping station was installed below spar to separate the oil from the gas. Number 5, spar secured to the seabed method use 9 mooring lines. The sentence: spar was secured to the seabed by using 9 mooring lines. Last one, 5 risers built below spar purpose carry oil and gas up to platform. The sentence: 5 risers were built below spar in order to carry oil and gas up to platform. Thank you so much. Dear students, now let's move to exercise number 7 in your course book, page 61. In this exercise, you have to complete the sentences choosing the correct form in brackets. Now let's have a look at the note. Reinforced concrete, concrete which has been reinforced. The sentence here is in the passive voice. What about the second one? Reinforcing steel, steel which reinforces something. The sentence has an active meaning. Now, based on the meaning, whether it should be passive meaning or active meaning, we have to choose between the two choices. Again, dear students, pause the video, think of the sentences, and come back to check your answers. Now let's try to do them one by one. Number 1, a rebar is a reinforcing steel bar that strengthens concrete. So the steel bar here strengthens concrete, so it has an active meaning. Number 2, this reinforced plastic has been strengthened by carbon, so here it has a passive meaning because the carbon strengthened it. Number 3, they are using pressurized oxygen in those tanks. The gas was compressed before going into the tanks, so here it has a passive meaning. Last one, we need to fit a pressurizing valve onto this pipe. Why? To create some pressure in the system. In this sentence, it has an active meaning. Thank you so much. Dear students, in the end, please sign into your Microsoft Teams account and do the quiz. That's all for today. Goodbye.